Hi BL lovers, I'm the BL guy and welcome back to another 5-minute review. Today we're reviewing the BL drama Love for Love's Sake. 29-year-old Tae Myung-ha experiences a bewildering twist of fate when suddenly finds himself transported into a fictional online game where he inhabits the body of a 19-year-old character. Soon, Tae Myung-ha embarks on a quest within the virtual world to bring happiness to a character named Cha Yo-hoon. Despite his humble upbringing, Cha Yo-hoon has managed to excel in the National Track and Field Championships, maintaining a remarkable reputation among his peers due to his handsome looks and athletic physique. Chon Sang-won hails from an affluent family and becomes emotionally entangled with Tae Myung-ha. His involvement adds complexity to the developing relationship between Tae Myung-ha and Cha Yo-hoon. An Kyung-hoon, introverted and reserved, supports and assists Tae Myung-ha on his mission within the virtual world. Love for Love's Sake is a South Korean BL drama with 8 episodes, roughly around 40 minutes per episode. Our 4 main leads are being played by Lee Tae-vin and Cha Joo-won, and also Oh Min-soo and Cha Eun-ki. One review says, cathartic yet equally as frustrating. I'm a bit of an inexperienced BL watcher. I do watch BL, most of the drama I consume is BL content, but I'm definitely more unfamiliar with it than a lot of other people are, as I'm not always the type to watch dramas. That being said, I was compelled by this one. I have followed Eun-ki for a couple of years and this left me with a lot of intrigue. Now that I've watched it, I have a lot to say about the show. I'll start with the positives of the show. The show has been some of the strongest chemistry and acting I've seen in a while. Every character is cast brilliantly, and the portrayals of the respective characters allow me to understand each character to an amazing extent, an understanding that allowed me to feel a really close connection towards them. Lee Tae-vin's performance as Myung-ha is one of my favorite portrayals of a character in all the BLs I've watched, and you can tell that he cared about the show and character. As in each and every scene you could easily make out his emotions, his intentions, his everything. Cha Joo-won does an amazing job as Yo-hoon as well, and he is probably my favorite character to watch because I relate to him a lot, and he is a very enjoyable character. Heck, every main character in the show is great, but it is clear that the main couple really steals the show. For me, the show is so close to getting it perfect. The core storyline of the show is not one I thought I would enjoy, but it navigates it brilliantly to the point I found myself engaged. I picked this up after the release of episode 1 and 2 and I was drawn in immediately, then was further drawn in by episodes 3 and 4. What this drama has as a shortcoming, however, is the plot holes it creates in its progression of the story after we see Yo-hoon finally warm to Myung-ha after episode 4. Episode 5 is the beginning of the shit the show brings in to spice things up and give a bit of shock value, which I heavily disliked. This episode feels so rushed. The added storylines could have easily been added at an earlier date to give Yo-hoon's character more depth, and up until now he was a mystery. On top of this, the confession scene is unnatural, which ties into my first point. Why on earth would someone's first thought be to confess their love after going through something traumatic like that? I understand the release of emotion, the want to get rid of stress in your mind, but I feel like if they wanted to deliver that, they needed to sell into Yo-hoon and his emotions as a character. Make him break down, make his emotions clear. In this scene, he is stagnant and it happens out of nowhere. I feel the same way about the kiss scene, which feels forced and out of place. It did not need to happen here and feels added in purely to make the fans happy, which is honestly a horrible position to place it in, especially given how perfect it would be if they held off on kisses until the final episode. Now, getting to my own personal opinion, I actually really did love the show. I'm just going to start off there. The chemistry between the main couple, amazing. I freaking loved it. I was giggling, I was squealing, I was biting my pillow, all of that. I freaking loved the chemistry between them. The hand holding, little kisses, like the possessiveness of Yo-hoon, like all of that. Like the main character had my entire heart. Like all of the characters played such a big part in the show, and I really feel like it added to me liking it a lot more. So if we're just talking about the romance aspect of it all, I'm obsessed with the show. It is freaking amazing. Even the teasing between Sang-won and Yo-hoon, like, I don't know, it's just that whole part of it, perfection. It gets its downfall for me personally with the overarching plotline. I honestly could make like an entire analysis video on why I'm so confused, because at the end of the day, this show left me hella confused. Like, there's so much stuff that is not explained properly, that is like left up to the viewer to decipher, which some shows can't pull that off very, very well. I just feel like with this specific show, they should have explained a lot more. The rules, how did this happen, what exactly, like there were so many questions I had just wasn't answered. Like the buffing reversing thing was never really explained. Like what does it actually do to Myanga? Did it just hurt him, or did it affect the game? Was it a part of creating the errors? Him coming back, like what happened? Did the deaf person itself like decide to give him a second chance, right? So it put him into this virtual online video game type of world thing, which I don't even know if he was being reincarnated, was this being sent into a past life, because he's 19-year-old now. Why did you all make us think it was a video game in the beginning and he was like reading a script? I don't know, this show just really freaking confused me. I have so many questions. I can't even reiterate it very well here. And then also I do agree with the reviewer that said like the confession scene I could kind of get. It's a little bit out of place, but I don't mind it there specifically. But the kissing scene really did, like the first kiss really felt out of place or kind of forced. Like it just was so random to me. I don't know, it to me personally it felt very random. But honestly speaking, I really did love the show. The overarching plot was just what made it weird and confusing for me, specifically speaking. But y'all, let me just tell you a little bit about my love for Mr. Yoon. Like, he reminds me so much of Subin from TXT, and I freaking love Subin so much. So my instant love for Yoon was just so immensely big. Like, I freaking love him. I hate seeing him cry. Like, every time that boy gets emotional, I felt like crying. Like I felt so attached to him. Like it's actually insane. But every time he smiles with his eyes and his entire face, it's just the cutest thing ever. Stop. I freaking love the boy so much. And yeah, I really do like the show overall speaking. It's just the plot, overarching plot I should say, just confused the heck out of me. It did. If somebody can explain it to me down in the comment section below, I would highly appreciate that. But yeah, that was my opinion on the show. Now moving on to my overall rating. For story, like I said, if we just stick with the romance part of it all, and maybe if it ended up with him just, since we did see in the first episode him passing out from being drunk, if he just ended up waking up like it was a dream or something, I'd be fine with that. It's cliche, I know that, but it would have made sense to me. But the story I would give let's say a 7 out of 10. Yeah, acting freaking phenomenal, 9 out of 10. Music I really did love, 9 out of 10 as well. Rewatch value, I probably would rewatch it just to like try and figure out what the hell is actually happening. But for rewatch value, I think I'd give a 7 out of 10. Yeah, so that was my overall rating and review of Love for Love's Sake. This review is probably hella long, so I apologize for that. I just had so much to say and I still have a lot to say about the show. It's just, I don't know, I keep thinking about it because I'm trying to figure things out and I just can't figure anything out. So I would really appreciate it if somebody could explain it to me just in simpler terms. Maybe I'm just too dumb to understand.